So I was thinking about doing a video involving what characters would make sense to be echoes and not echoes. And this was mainly inspired by one of my friends who doesn't know much about the Mega Man franchise. And he was looking at character costumes because a lot of people have been noticing that character costumes that were in Smash 4 are becoming full-fledged characters now. I'm looking at Chrom, I'm looking at King K. Rool, and there's definitely a few more, and potentially Gino, potentially Isabelle, potentially Majora's Mask for Skull Kid. A lot of that is like potential, but like basically, if you look at some of the Mii costumes, some of those Mii costumes have a high chance of being an actual fighter now in Smash 4. Some people seem to think that so I'm not gonna get to that yet. Some people think that there's a certain character that was not a Mii fighter costume, but some of the Mii fighter costumes included Mega Man X and Mega Man.exe, and one of my friends was thinking maybe one of them will be and so is Proto Man. He knew Zero is an assist trophy, so he's like not Zero. So he's thinking maybe Proto Man, Mega Man EXE, or Mega Man X would be a character. And I told them, like, if you don't know much about Mega Man, Mega Man X and Mega Man EXE are out. They cannot be echoes for Mega Man. They could be their own characters, possibly semi-clones, but that even semi-clone is like really cutting it there with the semi-clone stuff. Mega Man X could possibly be a semi-clone of Mega Man, but it's seriously cutting it close. And at that point, I'm not talking Fox Falco semi-clone. I'm talking Fox Wolf semi-clone. I'm talking pretty stark differences. I'm talking Marth compared to Ike semi-clone, where people are like, well, what? You consider Ike a semi-clone? Yes, I consider him a semi-clone, but that's what I'm saying. That's as far away as a semi-clone be, is Marth compared to Ike. So, when that's not an insult, because I love Ike. He's probably my favorite Fire Emblem character besides Lucina. Either way, so what I was trying to say to my friend is, if you don't know much about the Mega Man games, X and EXE, his moves are all based off data chips. That means he has bombs he puts in his hands and throws. Sometimes he gets bigger guns he holds like an actual gun and shoots them instead of using his buster. A lot of the time, he has a sword. Mega Man EXE fights with a sword a lot. And even if you watch the anime, you would know, like, he uses a sword like it's just a fucking sword. Like, Mega Man EXE has swords and all sorts of stuff. What he doesn't have is a leaf shield. What he doesn't have is a metal cutter. He has a pickaxe that he hits the ground and creates shockwaves. He does not have a metal cutter, a leaf shield, a flame. He could do a flame sword, yeah. But it's like, or like the slash attack if he used a sword. But like, it's not happening. X could be a semi-clone, but like it would just defeat the whole purpose of putting X in the game entirely, because he has his own games, man. All of Mega Man's moves are from his games. And I want people to know, I know a lot of people aren't thinking that X and EXE will possibly be an Echo fighter for Mega Man. I know a lot of people probably don't think that. And Proto Man actually makes perfect sense and could be an Echo, especially because in Mega Man the Power Fighters, you get to play as Proto Man, and he can get any move that Mega Man can get. Then, if you fast forward to Mega Man 9 and Mega Man 10, where they included Proto Man as a playable character for both games, Proto Man can use any move that Mega Man can use in that game. So theoretically, Proto Man should be able to do anything Mega Man could do. There's absolutely no reason why Proto Man couldn't be an echo of Mega Man. However, I think because Proto Man appears in Mega Man's Final Smash, it means he's not going to appear in the game as his own playable character. I would love it if there was a costume for Mega Man that just made him Proto Man's, because they don't talk. Some of the poses for the taunts might be weird, but the idle animation stuff would be perfect. However, again, I think if they put on a Proto Man costume, I don't think the game would make Proto Man appear where Mega Man is, and Mega Man appear where Proto Man is, because Proto Man actually seems to be a little bit taller, and stuff like that. So even though really Proto Man could work perfectly as an Echo, they're not going to do that. because we've already seen that Proto Man appears in Mega Man's Final Smash. That's the issue. The funny thing is that, so I just explained to you guys, Mega Man EXE is nothing like Mega Man. He's not going to be an Echo. Mega Man X could possibly be a semi-clone, but it would be kind of silly and not really do Mega Man X justice, but they could do it. But also, like, you know, even thinking about that is like, it's just such a silly, stupid idea. Mega Man X does not need to be in the game, okay? He does not need to be his own playable character. Zero being a playable character would actually make sense, but that Mega Man X not being... he's fine being in part of the Final Smash. To me, I feel like all the characters are in the game because they're in Mega Man's Final Smash, and then Zero, who's not in Mega Man's Final Smash, is an assist trophy. So that's cool. Then we have Proto Man, who could be an Echo, but I just don't think he's going to be in the game for reasons I just stated. Now, the big Echo fighter. People are really hyping up this big possible Echo fighter. Ken from Street Fighter over Ryu. This is a character that everyone seems to think is going to be an Echo of Ryu. All the big leakers think it. A lot of people think it. And so, what I want to say, when it came to Proto Man, I just wanted to iterate the fact that he can do everything that Mega Man can do, and he doesn't do that much different that Mega Man doesn't normally do. This is why I think Shadow would make more sense as an Echo fighter for Sonic than Metal Sonic or Tails. Because Tails doesn't homing attack, and Tails kind of flies. So that's like a core mechanic about Tails can fly, and one thing he never does is homing attack. So having Tails in would be super confusing. It would not make sense for an Echo of Sonic. A semi-clone of Sonic, maybe. Metal Sonic's the same way. He doesn't really homing attack. Even his spin dash, he doesn't really spin dash. And Metal Sonic has this big thing where he makes like shields around himself. He does it all the time. It's even in Sonic Adventure 2's racing mode. So the idea of putting Metal Sonic in as a Echo, it's like, are you doing it just because it's the same version of a character or a character's friend? Look at people want Sonic, classic Sonic for Sonic Generations. Two Sonics? What's the point? What's the point of having two playable Sonics? But look at Shadow. Shadow can homing attack. He can spin dash. He can do the little rolling attack that Sonic can do. In Sonic Adventure 2, which is Shadow's first game, they play identically. In Sonic Heroes, they play identically. It's really not till Shadow the Hedgehog where they give him guns, and Sonic 06 where they make Shadow have this weird lock-on punching combo homing attack system thing. So take it from someone, and then, of course there's Sonic Battle too. Take it from someone who's played like every Sonic game that featured Shadow as a playable character and beat them. I beat Sonic 06 in 2006. I'm not making that up. I beat Sonic 06 in 2006. Shadow as an Echo makes the most sense of any other Sonic character. Any other Sonic character, Shadow as an Echo makes the absolute most sense. All you gotta do is change his idle stance, change his running animation, and give him some taunts. Boom. There you go. Ken. Does Ken fall into the semi-clone category? Kind of. He's a semi-clone in the sense that Ike is a semi-clone. And what I really mean is, like, yeah, he would play similar, and his B attacks would basically be the same exact thing, and they would probably make it to where his A attacks, he could probably do like the Hadouken and the Shoryuken just by doing the actual command inputs from Street Fighter, and that would probably work and do the same thing. The problem is that people seem to forget that Ken, while he was an Echo of Ryu in Street Fighter 1, Street Fighter 1 is not the iconic Street Fighter. There's a reason why Simon Belmont has his old school appearance. Mega Man has his old school appearance, but they're just like 3D-ified. When it comes to Ryu, his appearance is more based off of Street Fighter 4, and Street Fighter 4's appearance is very closely tied to the Street Fighter 2 appearance. You see what I'm saying here? He's based off his Street Fighter 2 more so than his Street Fighter Alpha or his Street Fighter 1. Street Fighter Alpha being a revamp from Street Fighter 1, where it doesn't even look that much like Street Fighter 1. So, and Street Fighter Alpha Ryu is very iconic because that's Street Fighter Alpha Ryu is the Ryu that's in all the Marvel vs. Capcom games until Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Like, that version of Ryu is in everything. And then, around that time of Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and Street Fighter 4, that's when Ryu was really being brought back to a Street Fighter 2 style again. So, the idea that Ken will be an echo of Ryu based off of Street Fighter 1, no. Now let's look at Street Fighter 2, where at this point Ken is a semi-clone of Ryu in Street Fighter games. Ken can do the same attacks, they all just have different properties. But I'm only talking about special moves, man. I'm not talking about his normal punches and kicks. Every single punch and kick Ken does is different and literally unique compared to Ryu's. I am sorry, guys. If they put Ken in the game, and call him an Echo, but then make him Ken as accurate to how Ken is supposed to be, I will be amazed, and I'll say, that's not an Echo, that's a semi-clone, and certain semi-clones are considered Echoes, which will make me really confused why Dr. Mario has his own character slot. But at the same time, it's like, the idea that they would put Ken in the game and then not make him fight like Ken. Don't put Ken in the game then. If you're not going to do it right, then don't put the character in. You see, that's the whole point of Smash. You see, when I play as Ryu, and I play as Ryu in Street Fighter, he's been my main when I was a little kid. I would play Ryu in Street Fighter 2. And when Marvel vs. Capcom came out, I played as Ryu in Marvel vs. Capcom. I would pick Ryu and Mega Man, because I was so happy that I could just play as Mega Man and Ryu at the same time and beat up Spider-Man. To me, that was like my dream. When it came to X-Men vs. Street Fighter, I was using Ryu on my team. Like, I've always used Ryu because I've always liked Ryu. Ryu holds I have a big statue of Ryu, the one that came in Street Fighter 4. I bought that, or it's not Street Fighter 4. I have the Ryu statue that came in Street Fighter 5. And I bought that because Ryu is significant to me, and I wanted that Ryu statue. So, as someone who really likes Ryu, and when it comes to fighting games, Ryu is one of my favorites, and I base almost every decision of what character I pick, I'm like, does he fight like Ryu? Does he fight like Wolverine? Does he fight like a character that I like in a fighting game? And usually I end up picking like a rushdown character like Wolverine, or I find someone who's more similar to Ryu, because both playstyles work really well for me. So, the idea of why is Ryu cool? Why was Ryu so fucking awesome when playing Smash? Why was it such a fucking awesome thing to see Ryu? Because all of his air attacks were his actual air attacks from Street Fighter. All of his punching and kicks, his light, his medium, his heavies, all those attacks were incorporated into Smash. Literally, everything he does in Smash is not made up for Smash. Every single fucking move. When Relax needs to do a fucking video about Ryu. Relax, are you out there? Someone tell Relax to do a fucking know your moves about Ryu. Goddamn, Ryu he fights 1-to-1 with how he fights in Street Fighter in Smash. It's amazing. Ryu is so damn cool. And to give more variety, because a attack is just a hit attack, it's like some attacks will be punches and some attacks will be kicks, depending on what's more fitting. That's taking Ryu from Street Fighter and putting him in Smash. But those moves are from Street Fighter. I swear to God. So the idea of putting Ken in as an Echo and then making him have all of Ryu's moves, no. Who's that supposed to help? Is that supposed to make the Ken fans happy? Is that supposed to make the Ryu fans happy? Who does that help? Who does that make happy? Ken is not going to be an Echo fighter. Guys, Capcom has to okay this. They have to okay this. Capcom has to say, yes, Ken can be an Echo. Yes, Ken is going to fight literally 1-to-1 as Ryu. And then maybe he'll have a green Hadouken instead of a blue Hadouken and a flaming Shoryuken. No! That's just not how it works, guys. I'm sorry for those of you really wanting Echoes for every character. Just because Simon Belmont got an Echo doesn't mean Ryu and Ken will. Here's the fucking thing. Here's something we need to explain about fucking Simon Richter right fucking now before people keep taking this stupid meme and pushing it further than it needs to go. The reason why Richter is in the game is because Simon's moves are fucking based on Richter. Yeah. And why is Simon's moves based on Richter? Because in Castlevania 1, the first Castlevania, they made a character named Simon Belmont, and he was the only fucking character. And so the most limited game with the limited moves, limited ideas, because their first fucking game was their most iconic character because it was the first fucking one. Then they made Super Castlevania 4, where they revamped Simon's move abilities a little bit more. It looks like what Simon can do and bring to the table is being taken from Super Castlevania 4. However, then there's Richter. Now, Richter has the fucking, like, the kicks and stuff, okay? The moves that you're seeing, the slide attack and stuff like that, that shit, and the Final Smash is literally Richter's move. I wouldn't care, because to me, Simon Belmont is representing all of Castlevania and the Belmonts. So if he did moves that he's never done, because Richter's done them, to me, I would say that's fine, because Ness and Lucas do moves that they don't do. They do moves that the other characters in the game do. Like, Ness, a lot of Ness's attacks are actually moves that Paula does and Pooh does. A lot of the attacks that Lucas does are his side character. I think her name is Kimatora or something like that. It's the girl character in Earthbound, does a lot of the more magic attacks, whereas Ness and Lucas, while they have, like, they have magic attacks of their own, they more are like the knight characters. Like, they're more about the physical attack strength and stuff like that. So the idea that Richter and Simon, like, Simon can do things that he's never done, but because a different Belmont in a different Castlevania game has done it, I'm fine with that. Just like when adult Link in 64 and Melee could use the boomerang, was because Link can use the fucking boomerang. To me, that's fine. When I saw that, I played a lot of Link to the Past, and in Link to the Past, you spam that fucking boomerang. So I played Smash before I played Ocarina of Time, so when I saw Link do the boomerang, I was like, 'cause it's fucking Link. Link uses the fucking boomerang, dude. You spam the boomerang so much in Link to the Past. It's one of the most useful items in the game. So, yeah, so seeing Simon do stuff that Richter can do, I think that's fine. But the reason why there is an echo of Richter is most likely because of that. Also, because Richter is extremely popular in Japan, thanks to his connection not only with Rondo of Blood, which is a fucking... it's claimed... People claim it's the best classic-style Castlevania game, as in the best side-scrolling, like, going forward and just whipping shit game. And then a lot of the other Castlevania games aren't like that. A lot of the other ones are these huge Metroidvania games. And that's where the Vania part of Metroidvania comes from, is from Castlevania, mostly because of Symphony of the Night. And in Symphony of the Night, Richter Belmont is the character you play as in the very beginning, because it takes place during the same it takes place in the same timeline as Rondo of Blood. And in fact, one of the things you can do is you fight Richter towards the end of the game, and if you kill him, that's the bad ending. And then if you don't kill him, you can continue forward and do all this extra stuff until you can eventually get to Dracula, because a Dark Wizard's been using Richter with mind control in order to basically resurrect Dracula. So you actually have to fight Richter Belmont in Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which is basically the game that every single Castlevania fan and every single person who knows anything about Castlevania considers to be the holy grail of Castlevania, the best Castlevania game. It is the Final Fantasy VII of the Castlevania franchise, and Rondo of Blood is like the Final Fantasy VI of the Castlevania franchise, because it's like the best game of that style from before, and 7's the best game of that style from the 32-bit era and forward. So that's just how it is. So putting Richter in the game, that's why Richter's in the game. And some of you non-Castlevania fans don't understand that. So here's the thing. When it comes to you guys trying to guess who the echoes are, who don't know anything about video game history, but you know everything about Smash Bros. Let me break it down for you guys real fucking quick. And this is why you need to look to your historians, look to your people who know about classic video games, look to the people who play classic video games. If you don't even play classic video games, then what the fuck are you talking about? If you don't play Street Fighter, then what the fuck are you talking about? If you don't play Castlevania, what the fuck are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? You don't play Sonic? What the fuck are you talking about? Stop trying to come up with echoes just because you go, oh, Cloud could easily have an echo because no, he can't. They're not going to do an echo for Cloud because there's not a single character that really fits that mold. Some people seem to think Terra from Final Fantasy VI will be a playable character. If that's the case, I will be fucking shocked. Terra's my, Final Fantasy VI is my favorite Final Fantasy. Don't get me wrong, but that would not be an echo. That would be a completely original character. That can't even be a semi-clone of Cloud. She wouldn't have the limit mechanic or anything. I'm telling you guys, that would be just an insane mindfuck. But I don't think they're going to put Terra in. I think they're just going to stick with Geno. So, especially because there's no demand for Terra. Even from the Final Fantasy universe, people who, Square Enix themselves, seem to not even show any love to Final Fantasy VI. They just kind of show love to Final Fantasy VII. So, they know what the popular one is. It doesn't matter that Final Fantasy VI is the highest rated one. I remember when the Dissidia sequel came out, they put in a second character from Final Fantasy IV, a second character from Final Fantasy 7, a second character from 8, a second character from 10, and it's why didn't you put in a second character from 6? 6 has the most fucking characters. Square Enix doesn't even give a shit about Final Fantasy 6, man. So, yeah, the reason why Richter's in the game, pay attention, actually know what you're fucking talking about when it comes to Castlevania. That's why Richter's in the game, man. So if you want to say, oh, well, Ken will be in the game because they're making echoes of everyone, you guys are wrong. The Smash Reddit community or whatever the fuck, the collective on this who are trying to guess the echoes are fucking wrong, dude. I'm telling you guys right now because I'm gonna be the only motherfucker saying Ken won't be in the game. I'm being the only motherfucker saying it. And saying if Ken is in the game, he'll be so much of a semi-clone that it would be ridiculous to put him as an echo. And you guys, if Ken is in the game and he's considered an echo, I would still be let me see the gameplay because I don't fucking believe he's an echo. Because why would they put him in if they're not going to do him justice? Because they do every other character justice. And at this point, it would be a slap in the face to Ken fans. And I don't think Smash is about slapping its fans in the face. I think Smash is about celebrating the video games. I think Smash is about celebrating what everyone loves about these characters. And that's why Smash is good. That's why Smash is always good. So no, I don't think Ken will be an echo. I think it's an absolutely ridiculous idea. I think there's no reason why. And here's the thing: I heard some people say, "Oh, well, Capcom's not making this game, so who cares?" And it's they still have to okay it. Okay, well, they're gonna want to put Ken in Smash. There's no reason not to put Ken in Smash. There is reason not to put Ken in Smash. If they don't do Ken justice, that's not good reason to put Ken in Smash. You know, so. It's what are you guys talking about here, man? What are you talking about? The idea that Capcom, I said something about it would be confusing to fans who play Street Fighter and confusing to fans who don't play Street Fighter, creating this myth that Ken plays identically to Ryu, and that would confuse people. Say, oh, they don't care about confusing people. Yes, they fucking do. You want to know why Ganondorf still has Captain Falcon's moveset? Because they fucking care about confusing people. And I know everyone's saying, why don't we just make a new new Ganondorf who doesn't play Captain Falcon? Yes, I know he has a sword now. His Bs are all still the same though, okay? So yes, he has a sword. He still has other moves that are Captain Falcon's. And it's not just his Bs. Some of his As are still Captain Falcon's fucking moves, man. So why? Why is it different? Well, because people who played Captain Falcon in Melee, people who played Ganondorf in Melee, people who played Ganondorf in Ball, people who played Ganondorf in Smash 4. Those people, even though no one likes Ganondorf and he's one of the worst characters, those people will be confused, and that's why they're not doing it. This is Sakurai's logic and reasoning. He's not going to completely revamp an entire character. He might change one move, he might change two moves, but he's never going to completely revamp a character to where they have a brand spanking new moveset. That's just not going to fucking happen, because that would, look at Link. Link is a little bit different, but it's so little. It's not that big of a difference. It's a little difference. It might have a big implication and change up his gameplay dramatically. We don't know yet. It seems like without that grapple hook, things are going to be a little bit different. And we've already seen that his bombs are incredibly strong when it comes to edge guarding. So we already know, like, Link is going to be a motherfucker. We already know this, man. So, but, I mean, the thing is, like, that's a little change. The rest of Link is still viable as Link, you know. I know he has the bow and arrow stuff too, but I'm just saying, like, these are little changes. Like, Link is still Link. So the idea that that's why Ganondorf is the same, and that's why, yes, they do care about confusing fans. They are not going to put Ken in the game and do him wrong. Now, some of you people might be saying, okay, but the most credible leakers are saying Ken. I know they are. They're fucking wrong. Okay? I swear, if Ken is in the game, I will be jaw dropped to the floor. But I know a lot of you are going to say, he's an echo of Ryu. He's an echo of Ryu. And I'm going to be like, guys, there's no way he's a fucking echo of Ryu. There's no fucking way. He's a semi-clone, which would be ridiculous and crazy. Sakurai has hinted that he might not be able to bring every character back in the next game. And I think part of why he might be saying that is involving all the crossovers. It might not be possible to keep every character coming back because they have to negotiate with the third parties and make things happen. It's my theory that the reason why Ryu is in Smash 4 is because Capcom said you can do Mega Man, but you have to do Ryu. You have to also do Ryu. Because Capcom doesn't make money off Mega Man. They make money off Street Fighter. So they want people to play Street Fighter. They don't want them to play Mega Man. They don't care about Mega Man. You know, people get excited for Mega Man. They're going to get excited for Mighty Number 9. Now we're getting Mega Man 11. But at the time, you know, look how long it took. I don't think Capcom had any intention of making Mega Man 11 from putting Mega Man in Smash. You know. Now we can look at Cloud. A lot of people are like, why is Cloud in the game? Well, I think the reason why Cloud's in the game is so that way we could get Geno later. Take a look at the fact that Cloud was put in the game like randomly, and he was put in like right around when the Smash Ballot was coming out, and you know, it's like by the time Bayonetta came out, or no, it's before Bayonetta was even in the game, were they planning Smash Ultimate. So I think Sakurai was making good with Square Enix to nab the rights to put Geno in a future Smash Bros. Game. And I think that's what we're going to get. I think Geno's coming in the next one. I think there's going to be wood and blue stuff during the next direct. Or Geno's is going to be in the game, and he's going to be one of the first characters announced or something. So I think we're going to get not only Skull Kid, but Geno. That's what I'm thinking. Now, when it comes to Isaac, they could announce 3 characters during the direct. I don't see why they have to follow the same formula every time. During the next direct, they could announce any number of characters. But Geno and Skull Kid are going to be there. I would love it if they just showed a trailer of Geno's just fighting Isaac and just like, this is what you get. And it's like, that'd be cool too. But there's a lot of things they could do. Actually, I would love if they did a Geno trailer where like RPG characters like Marth are in Super Mario RPG World fighting Mario enemies together. And you're like, why are RPG characters like Marth and Shulk fighting against Goombas and shit from Mario? This is silly. And and maybe Robin's with them, like, and she's like the mage of the team or something like that. Just like a party of 3, and then eventually Geno shows up. It's like, because the way Geno shows up in Mario RPG is you're in the middle of a boss fight, and Geno just fucking runs in and helps you guys. So they could fucking do that. They could fucking just show a little Geno till he come to life, and then it's like, bam, Geno's in the game now. That would be, I think people would get so fucking hyped seeing something like that, and I think it's actually kind of likely going to happen. So mark my words, we'll see something involving like 3 characters who are from RPGs, possibly even Link as one of them, if they want to make it more closely tied to like a popular Nintendo character. Zelda counts as an RPG. I know some people are like, oh, it's not an RPG. The idea of Zelda was to be an RPG at first. It just had like real-time action, and then it kind of drifted away from RPG and became more about exploration. But that's only because the genre evolved and Zelda just kind of stayed Zelda. It was never. It's no reason why Zelda can't be considered an RPG. Just because it's like, oh, but there's no numbers and there's no there's stronger weapons and stronger items. That's leveling up, my friends. It doesn't. XP gauges are bullshit anyway. Okay, that's artificial and difficulty. That's not real. Like actual. That's nothing. Okay, guys, that's nothing. It might be a simple RPG, but to me, Zelda's an RPG. Just has real time combat. Yeah. So. Whew, boy, this video is going a little bit longer than it needed to be, but all I wanted to say is that Ken is not going to be in Smash. I guarantee it. He will not be a playable character. He might be an assist trophy, and I think that would be fucking hilarious, but I honestly think they're not going to do Ken at all. And so the idea that Ken will be in the game as a playable character, no, stop. Do I think that would have showed Ken by now if Ken was going to be in the game? No, actually, it's very hard to call because I'm surprised they haven't showed Shadow now. And the thing is like if they wanted to show Shadow, showing Shadow at the same time as Ken would make a lot more sense than showing Shadow at the same time as Isabelle. But I think that the remaining echoes will be announced in the next direct. I think we'll see basically all the echoes right then and there. I think anything that's going to be announced about this game is going to be all announced in the next direct. And I think there's just not going to be that many newcomers this time. And I think to make up for the newcomers, there's a shit ton of returning characters and a shit ton of echo fighters. So I think that's the whole point of the echoes, is to be like, hey, there's not going to be that many newcomers this time. So, and I think this is a good direction, a good call, considering that they don't really know what newcomers to do. So, and plus they don't have time to balance everything and make a bunch of rash decisions. So this is a good call. Anyway, that's all I want to say is that Ken is most likely not going to be in the game. And the thing is, no one is upset by that. No one will be upset if Ken's not in the game, because the Ken fans don't want Ken to be an echo, and the fucking the people who do want Ken to be an echo don't know shit about Ken. They're not gonna play as Ken because they don't play as Ryu already, probably. So like they just want to be right. It's a very disingenuous game. They just want to be right. They just want to call this idea because it's a good idea because it's their idea. Fuck your stupid idea. Learn how to actually like pick apart like real ideas. Learn how to actually look at the history of games, look at the history of Smash and what Smash does, and that's what separates a fucking amateur YouTube commenter or like a Twitter fucking account or a stupid person on Reddit. That's what separates them from someone who actually calls this shit. If you want to actually call this shit, you can't just get butthurt when someone picks apart your ideas and makes you look stupid. Okay? Because the reason why you look stupid is because you don't know what you're talking about. So, Ken being in Smash, I don't care if the big leakers are talking about him. It's a stupid idea. It ain't gonna fucking happen. Fuck that shit. Fuck that whole noise. I'm telling you guys. I know I'm getting mad about this, but the reason why I'm getting mad about this is because I see it so often and it's so wrong. It's not gonna happen. It's so unlikely, and the arguments and the excuses for it. Oh boy, shut up. It's wrong. I'm telling you guys right here now. It's not gonna happen. It actually makes no sense. So, don't join the herd. Don't just go with the flow because everyone else is saying something. You don't have to say it too. Ken is just not happening, guys. I'm sorry, but I'll catch you guys later on the flip side. Yeah. So what's up with that?